Oops. Looks like we're on. Right on. Sounds good. How's everyone doing out there today? I forgot to ask. Hey, Shailene, are we being sponsored by the Indian Collective? Or who's sponsoring us? Seattle Indian Health Board?
Yeah, Seattle.
Okay, cool. All right, my brothers and sisters, here we are. Um, it's good to be here. I think we're on like number the voice from just from above. Shailene Joseph is producing this year program right now. What number are we on anyways? Number 58? Week 58 or so? I'm going to say something like week 50, 58, 57. But anyways, hey, everybody, welcome. My name is Gene Tagaban. We're with the Native Wellness Institute Power Hour. I'm of the Duckdainton, Wishkatanya D clan of Huna, Alaska. I'm Cherokee, Tlingit, and Filipino. It's good to be here. Ganash Jish. And right now I'm coming to you from the land of the coast, the territory of the Coast Salish people on the indigenous lands of the Puyallup peoples here in Ruston, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest. And I'm looking outside right now, and it's a pretty cloudy day out there. I think it's around maybe mid or low 60s. But it's a beautiful day. It's good to be here. And I'm just getting on this thing here, just checking some messages, seeing who's out there with me, and Patty. Oh, sister Patty Atkinson, it's really good to see you. Oh, good to see you. Vanessa, oh, it's good to see you. All right, glad that you could join us here. And again, we're the Native Wellness Institute, and to our power hours that we've been running for about 57 weeks now since the closing of the pandemic. And the Native Wellness Institute, we decided to do this as a response to trauma. I know our people have been traumatized in many ways. And so we knew that this pandemic would stir up some more things. So we wanted to have a solution to healing for the trauma. And I know, although we talk much about the trauma of our peoples and such, the historical traumas, but we also the Native Wellness Institute is here because to keep our ancestral wisdoms alive. That we also have historical wisdoms, those historical wisdoms. Um, and so we like to talk about that as well, our historical wisdoms. And so with that, I just want to get going here a little bit. I'm just going to sing this song. And as I sing the song, oftentimes as I've asked you to, is maybe even you put in the chats of where you're at, the land that you're at right now, and how you're doing today. And I just got a message. We're on week 58, and today is our 325th power hour. Wow. And so with that, let's talk about a little bit about some healing here. And part of that healing too is just our traditional ways. And so I was just on a program. It was called Circle of Influence. It was put out by the organization called A Call to Men. It's about male engagement to get men involved to stop the violence, the abuse, the hurt and harm against all women, children, LGBTQ, Black, Indigenous, peoples of colors, and themselves as well. Um, and so they asked me to open it up, and so I did. And part of why I open things up with a prayer or even a song is I use that for myself. Because sometimes I just out there in the world, I just get my mind just goes to other places, and I just get a little scattered. And what I love about our traditions too, it just helps me get grounded, helps me to be in the now, helps me to be uh, in the what is, and what is right here. And so as I sing this song, I'm just going to ask you, just to, many of you might be on your lunch breaks. Many of you might be on driving in your cars or wherever you're at, maybe at the desk, maybe at home, and maybe out walking and you're listening in. But as I sing this song, I'm just going to ask you to think about your ancestors. You see, we've been dreamt into existence. Dreams and prayers work because here we are. And those old, greats, man, they prayed for us, and they knew we were coming. They didn't even know our names, but here we are. Here we are. And why are we here? Because we're praying for our future generations. But so I sing this song just to ground myself and help you ground yourself, and assist you to ground yourselves as we go on this here little journey for this next hour, and so think about the land of your ancestors, the mountains, the trees, the waters, the animals, uh, the wind, the sunrise and the sunset, the waves on the beach, the sound of the rivers, whatever that might be for you. Whatever you identify for yourself that brings to your mind, your consciousness or unconsciousness right now. In your thinking and your imagination or your creativity or your envisioning, whatever that is. When I say that, take yourself to that place, that peaceful place, that place of sacred silence. Maybe sometimes we just go out there and we just want to sit. Take yourself to that place, wherever it might be. That sacred place that might be, it might be a real live place that's out there on the land, or maybe it's just that place, that sacred place that you just keep within yourself, that only you know what, where, what it looks like, or where it's at, those sacred places. Take yourself there to sing the song, and we're just gonna like just go into that place of just gratitude right now, of gratitude for those ancestors, gratitude for that land, gratitude for the trees, the air, the very air that we have, just that gratitude, the light, and the darkness. And those rainbows. My great grandma used to say, is like, oh, every time you see a rainbow, you think good thoughts every time you see a rainbow, and you'll get your pot of gold. Me, I already gave all mine away. And I'm asking you, is like, what are you doing with your pot of gold? Every time you see that rainbow, what are you thinking right at that moment when you see that rainbow? And what are you thinking? And so I'm just going to sing that song, and we're just going to like just take that time for yourself right now. As so many people, we have 66 watchers on right now, like 66 of us just taking that time for ourselves, just to give you that gift of just to be in the moment right now, be with our imaginations in this moment, you know, whatever that might be. And so I'm just gonna sing the song and just join on in just with your spirit. Hello, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hoo, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey oh hey hey oh hey oh hey oh hey oh hoo. Gona chi taki au kau. Gona chi sha shagun. Gona chi sha huhi. Gona chi sha nyahusani. Hey oh hey hey yo hey oh. Hey oh hey hey oh hey oh. Hey oh hey hey Hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, Gudachi, 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 Gudachi. Hoo, 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 hoo. Awesome, awesome. So as a thank you for just taking that time. Just thank you for our spirits connecting right now. And whoever thought that we'd be able to make that connection on this media, on this Zoom. You're at where you're at, wherever you are. And, I'm over here in Tacoma, in the land of the Puyallup people, and I've been now tonight we're celebrating of working with this here men's group. And tonight we're celebrating our 1 year since we started, our 1 year since we started that men's group, and we've got to know each other in a way that is that's just close, that we would not have been able to make a connection in that way if it wasn't for this pandemic, if it wasn't for this Zoom. We've got to know each other in a more intimate way. Because if it wasn't for this Zoom, we'd maybe make a phone call. Hey, how's this going? Okay, yeah, make a meeting here and there, schedule that. Or we might be able to come to meet in person and see each other for like a couple days. But we've been meeting consistently now, every Tuesday night, and there's been a group of us, probably maybe about 10 of us, and it's been really good. But I've found too, and during this time with the Zoom and online, is that we can be and connect with each other spiritually, and that deep connection. And because there's no distance. Spirit knows no distance. Spirit knows no boundaries. But I have to ask you, is like, where's your spirit though? Where's your spirit? And how are you taking care of yourself spiritually? How are you taking care of yourself spiritually? And it's one of those things too, is like, because this world, that this society, and this Western society, and we talk about colonization and stuff, and what is a place that eats spirits, that eats spirits, that eats your identity, and that feeds on the soul, that feeds on the soul. That's why we have to be so diligent and focusing on what can we do to take care of our spirit. What can we do to take care of our spirit? Especially when it comes to about that around men, and our sisters. I want to hold our sisters, our sisters, our wives, our aunties, our grandmas, our great grandmas up, and all the women out there. My hands go up to you for keeping us, keeping our heads as men, keeping our heads above water, because there have been times when we have been drowning as men. We've been drowning as men because we get so caught up in everything, and sometimes we don't know what to do. And we get caught up in our own toxic masculinity, or the toxic masculinity that's happening out there, the patriarchy and this and that. And it's truly the women who have been holding us, our men, our heads above water. And I thank you for that. Thank you. Goodness, geez, and um, yeah, but man, now we have to really take a look at that. Who are we? Who are we as men? And that's what I was talking about in this group, in our Tuesday night groups too. That's what we meet, and it's about a men's support group where we talk about being vulnerable, having courage. What does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to have emotions? What does manhood feel like? What does it mean to respect others, or and respect yourself, and so many of these issues, and sexuality. What does sexuality mean to a man? Because it's one of those things too, is like, as men, There's this the collective colonization of men. And I'm talking about like uh, sure, my native brothers out there, my native indigenous brothers out there, but so many too in our communities. We have our white brothers, relatives who are married in or part of our families, our black brothers and relatives, our Asian brothers and relatives too. And with that, I got to ask you, it's like when taking a look at your heritage, and where and when were your people colonized? When and where were your people colonized? And learn about that history of who you are. Learn about that history of who you are. Yeah, because it affects you. It affects you. Because this thing about colonization, man, it's it's spirit in itself. It's like an entity that just infiltrates every aspect of our lives. If we take a look at it, of our relationships, not only our relationships with everything out there, those outside relationships, but it infiltrates the relationships with ourselves. And how, the question I asked earlier is, what are you doing to take care of your spirit? But also is like, you know, who are you? Who are you? And what kind of human being do you want to be? Not just a man or a woman. What kind of human being do you want to be? And the topic of this today was about telling your story, and that's about it. Learning your story and start telling our story, because we tell our story not just by actually saying it with our voice, but we tell our story, we live our story, we wear our stories. We wear our stories. And what story are you telling? And we're telling our stories too. Not only are we telling our stories with the voice, but we're also the pictures that we create in our minds. That's why I love doing that, opening up with envisioning the land of your ancestors, the people, or the sunrise or sunset, because our story is also being told with the pictures that we create in our minds, our creativity, our imaginations. And as I tell people, it's like for myself, it's my story and my life is this a big hallucination, and welcome to my hallucination. But I like my hallucination because it gives me flexibility to change it. Just like a story. Sometimes you could tell your story, and if you want to change it, we need to just turn the page and start another chapter. And that's why it's like so I love that our elders told us about that each day is a new start. And I know sometimes in the program, it's like each moment is a new start. And sometimes it's each breath is a new start. And that's our story. But we've been influenced through this thing called colonization, and especially as men, especially as men. And so I just want to talk more about that and address that too. And again, um, kia ora to our New Zealand relatives over there, you know, and many prayers to each and every one of you. And so I'm going to like bring some things up and talk about it. But think about that colonization, how it influences and the colonization, the collective colonization of men. And we see it all over the world, all over the country, and how it affects us. And what happens is that collective colonization of men too is like we put ourselves right in this box. We put ourselves in a box. and and the media out there in society and Western society and education, everything, it's just starts telling us, and we start believing it, how we should be, how we should act, and especially like our attitudes towards women as well, attitudes towards women. And I'm so passionate about this too, and is because I need to learn it. I need to learn this. No, in my own personal family, you know, the men in my family were like, toxic, toxic. There's the drinking, there's the slander, and the of using of how they refer to other people, other races, and plus, even that as a young boy growing up and hearing uh, your family members or community members and how they talked about women, and that influences an individual. That influences you. Influenced me. But I'm passionate about learning about this, and about healing of men. It's because I need it. I need to heal. I need to heal. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good human being, and I want to be a good elder. And one day I'm going to be that ancestor. I'm going to be that ancestor. And I'm frequently looking down here because what I'm doing, I'm looking at your questions. I'm looking at your questions out here and your teachings. Sister out here is like teaching their grandson about being a man. Especially being with braids, about approaching, and those things. Um, how we can guide them. Those be that good uncle, that good relative. So I want to bring something up here on my page. I want to take a look at this in this very short time that we have. And it's this thing. It's called the man box, and we use this in the work that we do with developed by I think it was Tony Porter with a call to man, and it's a collective socialization of men. Before that comes, the collective this collective colonization of men. That's why I was saying, when were your people colonized, and how did that affect you? The colonization affect you, and when we talk about this collective socialization of men, in this man box, and that's it. We get stuck in this box. We get stuck in this box. TV, radio, um, the internet, Facebook, Instagram, all these things is influences us on what it means to be a man, what it means to be a man. And taking a little bit of this too is like anything associated with being a woman. And what that means is anything associated. I just had this. We were just talking about this about how uh, about coaching, about coaching. And I heard this growing up when I was playing basketball, playing baseball, playing football, and even being coached by my own dad when they used the terms like, "Oh, you're shooting like a girl. Oh, you throw like a girl. You throw like a girl. Oh man, you're running like a woman. Oh, be tough, be tough. You know, be tough. Stop being a wimp, or I'm going to say it. Stop being a pussy." And I heard all these things growing up as a young boy from the coaches, from the coaches. And so when you hear these things from your coaches or your parents or the other grown men in your community, and you're a young child, you're still a child, what and how, when you grow and you age, how does this form your association with women? When everything out there says stop being like a woman, don't throw like a girl, don't run like a girl. What's that say about women? What's that say about girls? And then we start this, and things just start to get like twisted, and man, it gets out, it's jacked up, man. Man's attitudes towards women, and I see it on the res, I see it in the villages, I see it all over. Just going to the store, you see, and it's like And that's part of being in that man box. That's part of being in that man box. And then the other one on here is anything associated with being a gay man, a gay man. It's like I've been, oh, you're gay or you're fag. Who are you? Oh, I saw you looking at him. Those type things. It's like, and what are we saying about our relatives, our LGBTQ relatives out there? I have family members who are gay. I love them. And they're some of the most open individuals, open human beings out there who just openly express themselves of who they are. And it's like who am I to judge on them? It was this one time where I went to this workshop. It was called New Directions, and some of you are aware and with New Directions and how New Directions was. First developed out of Alkali Lake and out the people, but there was an exercise that we went through there, and we went around the circle and we took a look, and we had to make judgments on who's going to live. The boat went down, and who's going to go into that lifeboat. And out of like the 60 people in there was only room for 5 people in that lifeboat. And we had to go around and say, you live, you live, you live, or you die, you die, you die, you die, you die. And at the end, there's only 5 people in that lifeboat. And it really opened my eyes to the judgments I make on other people daily. The judgments I make on other people daily. And how do I judge them? And sometimes I'm saying, nope, you don't get to go in the lifeboat. You don't get to hang out with my group. You don't get to come to my house. You don't get to sit at my table for dinner. You don't get to come and dance with my dance group. You don't get to come and ride bikes with me, or you don't get to come and for me to come pick you up, or whatever it is. We always make these judgments. And part of it too, in my mind too, I'm like going, you die. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. And oftentimes we make these associations with our LGBTQ relatives, or are those of other races. Racism is like is a social epidemic. Racism out there, and I've recently been seeing racism and those biases as um, as like an illness and a sickness and an addiction, just as as deep as a heroin addiction, an alcohol addiction. And so that's and I really had to take a look at that myself, and how do I judge people, and what is my judgments against others? And I really had to look in the mirror. How do I judge myself as well? Those critical judgments about myself. How about you? How do you judge people? Those in your circles. Why are they in your circles and other people's aren't? And other people's aren't. And this hit me big, especially when I reflected back when I was in high school and college, as a young man. It's really I really had to take a look at this, and but if I want a better world, then I really need to open my eyes to things. I'm just taking a look at some of your thoughts on here too. And and all I want you to do as I'm talking about this is like, be aware of your own experience. Be aware of your own experience. What are you thinking about this? How have you seen it in the past? How have you talked to yourself and the voices and the pictures and the pictures? I remember this one time I was at this club, and when I was in the club, I was with my group of buddies. I was in my early 20s, maybe about 21, legal drinking age. And a native woman comes walking in. She's a little intoxicated. And and my buddies, she goes, "Hey, you guys want to dance? I need somebody to dance, and my buddies who are white, just said, "Oh, get out of here, man." It's like, "Oh, you're just drunk, get out of here." And and I took a look at her, and then I was, and oftentimes I heard from them, and they would say, I go, "Well, I'm native. That's my cousin, I think." But we're not talking about you. We're not talking about you. But I was like, "Oh, yeah, you are talking about me." And I remember that I bring that up because as that intoxicated sister sat down, just wanting somebody to pay attention to her, just to dance with her. I got up and I just went, "Hey, sister, let's dance." And her eyes brightened up, and we danced. We danced for a long time. I guarantee during that whole time that we danced, she was not drinking. She didn't drink a drop. She just wanted somebody just to pay attention to her, just to have fun. Because if she was sitting at the bar stool, she would have been drinking. She wanted somebody to connect with, another human being. It doesn't have to be a sexual thing or anything like that. It's just a connection. And I know many of us we've been missing that connection, haven't you? The rate of alcoholism and drug addictions and violence in the home has gone up during this pandemic. But, and we're missing that connection. We're missing the powwows, the gatherings. And so when that time does open up, when we start to dance and we start to gather for those powwows and gatherings, we can't take it for granted. We can't take it for granted. And our relatives too. So I'm going to back up a little bit here. On this man box, anything associated with being a gay man or homosexual or LGBTQ, trans, whatever, we get thrown in that box, how men are supposed to think. And men are supposed to be sensitive. Oh, it's supposed to be tough. Jillian was talking about, she always talks about these unspoken things about men don't think, men don't talk, and men don't feel. Men don't think, men don't talk, and men don't feel. And that's all about that colonization, that colonial socialization of men. Men aren't sensitive. We're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be strong. We're not supposed to feel. Bull, man. It's like, that's just so wrong. I remember when I was a little child, a little kid, and my dad was working on our swing set. He was working on a swing set, and he said, "Don't walk under here. Don't walk. I don't want anything to fall on you." What did I do? I walked right under the swing set, and sure enough, the hammer fell right on top of my head. And I grabbed my head, and before I could scream or do anything, my dad jumped off of the ladder, looked at me right in the eye, and said, "Don't you cry. Don't you cry. Men don't cry." And I'm like thinking, as I reflect back and go, man, he's telling this here like little 6-year-old kid, men don't cry. I'm only 6 years old. I'm a child. I'm a child, and he's already teaching me, telling me, ingraining in my system, men don't cry. Don't you dare. If you're going to be a man, don't you dare cry. How many of you have heard that? How many of you have heard that, with your partners? How many of you men have heard that? And I can guarantee you, almost like right now, right now, that majority of the people who are watching right now are women. Men. We need to get men more engaged, not only engaged with this type of work about learning, about growing, but also about getting it connected with themselves and their own, um, you know, just their feelings and emotions and their sensitivity. Because man, we're talking about how the group I was on just before that, we're talking about how do we talk the difference we talk to our daughters and our sons when something happens, coaching versus nurturing. Usually we're always coaching our the sons and we're always nurturing the girls. Be tough, be strong. Don't be like a girl. Nurturing. Oh, you'll be okay. I'm with you. Oh, you don't have, and the difference that's there. Trying to teach those young boys to be sensitive. We can. They are sensitive. And that they and our men, they're holding it in, man. And it's toxic. And it's toxic. And the next one here being men being sensitive, but men being vulnerable. Men being vulnerable, being able to talk about who they are, being vulnerable and open up. And I've had this issue myself. I'm going to back up just a little bit. The story when the hammer fell on my head, and my dad said, "Man, don't you cry. Don't you cry." I better tell this part of it too, because I went inside and my mom was there, and I'm running inside, hand on my head, mouth wide open, nothing coming out. And my mom knew something happened. And my mom, she looked at me, she goes, "What happened?" And I just kind of yell out, "Dad dropped a hammer on my head." And she goes, "Did it hurt?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, yeah? Do you want to cry?" "Dad says men don't cry." And my mom looked at me. She looked at me and she said, "Bullshit. Do you feel like crying?" And I went, "Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah." "Then you cry. If it hurts. If you need to cry, then you cry." And I just screamed out because it hurt so much. I just screamed out. And it was my mom who grabbed me, held me, and nurtured me. But why is it that my dad could not grab me, hold me, and nurture me? And I had to look at his past, how he grew up, because his dad never grabbed him, held him, and nurtured him. And I can imagine my grandfather's, no, my great grandfather never held him, his son, and the great great grandfather never held his son. I wonder how far in the lineage of the men in my life that it went back, that the men did not hold their sons, nurture them, and allow them to cry. I wonder how far that went, and it just got passed on from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. I wonder. My mom allowed me to cry, and I really thank her for that. And to this day, it's like I can still sit with my mom and weep, cry, share emotion, share sensitivity. But I find it difficult with my dad. And my dad is still and my dad's old, his I don't know, his getting up there in age. He's not going to be around much longer. But I want that to stop now. Because men, we are sensitive. We do hurt. We feel. We feel. And so and then being vulnerable. In order to have courage and be courageous, we need to be vulnerable. We need to be vulnerable. In order to be vulnerable, we need to be courageous. Courage and vulnerability go hand in hand. Courage and vulnerability go hand in hand. Um, I think it's Brene Brown. She studied vulnerability. I really like listening to her. And she interviewed these special forces troops and asked them, have you ever any time that you've had been courageous, had courage, that you were not vulnerable? And they thought about it, and there was not a single time. To be vulnerable means to be courageous, to have courage. To have courage means to be vulnerable, to try new things, to open yourself up. And that's scary, man, to open yourself up, to share some sensitivity, to share some emotion. Just goes into the next one. Men don't want to be shown and or weak or show emotion or soft. All these things. If you're vulnerable, does that mean that you're less than? That you're not a man? That you're a weak person? You're a weak human being? No. My dogs are back there agreeing with me. They're going, right on. Say it, Dad. Say it, Dad. It's like, no, have courage. Men aren't supposed to be weak. Men aren't supposed to show emotions. Men, not supposed to be soft, we're supposed to be hard and all those things, man. Being those things, being, not being weak, not showing emotions or being softness or having that sensitivity, man, it's breaking us as men. It's twisting our minds and twisting our hearts and twisting our spirits, man. And it's just jacked up. And then this her term that's in this man box saying that we need to man up. What the heck does that mean, man up? And what I'm talking about, this is all that collective socialization of men that we throw on our young men. We throw on our young boys. We throw on our young children, our young ones. Man, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. To yeah, to nurture and teach our young boys to be just what's it mean to be a strong man. What does strength mean? To be know your emotions, to be able to share, to be able to talk, to think, and talk, think, and share, and feel your emotions and feel. So there's this man box. This man box. Yeah. What do you think about that? And so, for those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Gene Tagaban, and we're with the Native Wellness Institute. And this is our power hour for today. And all this here, when I'm talking about the man box, I'm sharing this is part of my story. This is part of my story right here, this man box being thrown in it. And for me to be able to start talking about this and sharing it and sharing this, and so that's what I'm talking about today. We're on program 58, 350 something program, and so welcome. And some of you may be tuned in going, what the heck is this guy talking about? Healing. So I'm going to take that off right now. And so what do we do? What do we do? What are we going to do with that? And so I'm just going to share with you another thing that I use. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. Oh, there's this thing here, why people give up. I was taking a look at it sometimes, just like why do people give up? And so I take a look at this here. It's called the indicators of awareness. And through this indicators of awareness, they went out there and they studied indigenous tribes all over the world. There's a study of indigenous tribes all over the world, and that are still in existence today. Some of the Kalahari tribes down in South Africa, the Aboriginal tribes. There's some tribes over in the mountains of Japan, and so these tribes that are out there in the world, and some of them are like still the best trackers in the world. The people at the Kalahari in South Africa, they can see a track of an antelope, and they know exactly what antelope made that track, and get the and they're so aware of everything out there. And so they studied these tribes, and they came up with this thing. It's called the indicators of awareness. And I just want to share this with you. And when it comes to like that track, I just want to share with you too, is like our track, our footprint that we put on the earth, when we're walking. There is no other footprint like yours. You are unique, just like our fingerprint. You are unique. That footprint is solely yours. And that the earth, when you step on the earth, will accept your footprint in the same way that it accepts the footprint of a bear, a deer, coyote, an insect, a leaf that falls down onto the earth. If you're male or you're female, you're big or small, you're white, black, native, or Asian, you're Christian, Muslim, native, the earth will accept your footprint in that same way. The earth does not distinguish. There is no, it's like, oh, I'm not going to take your footprint, or I'm not going to accept your footprint because you are this type of person. The earth accepts it. That footprint, your footprint. And to be aware of your track. And I just want to encourage everyone to like take your shoes off and walk on the earth. Take your shoes off and walk on the earth. Wake up your DNA. Yeah. Wake up your DNA. And so this model that I have here in front of you, it's called the indicators of awareness. I use this. It helps me stay focused. It helps me stay grounded. Just like when I sang the song earlier, sometimes I just get so scattered, I get lost and I need something to go back on. We have the medicine wheel, yes, and I put this in the circle in the form of a medicine wheel. But what do you do and what do you have? And do you have any models out there for you that you can just take a look at that helps you stay focused, grounded, and on track? This is something I use. And as I go over here to I put it in an East, common sense. As my elders say, common sense isn't so common anymore. We need to wake up to that common sense that we have. That common sense that we have. Like, to me, common sense is that you don't build a fire inside a house. Maybe in the fireplace, yeah, but you don't build a fire in the house. Uh, Common sense to me nowadays too is like I wear a seatbelt wherever I go. And common sense to me nowadays is that when I go someplace, I wear a mask. Especially now, I just found out an elder just got sick, got COVID, because the person who was in their house wasn't wearing a mask. Common sense to me tells me to wear a mask. And common sense is, and I've learned my greatest lessons from common sense because I've made mistakes from not using my common sense. Yeah, common sense. How has it taught you? How has common sense taught you? And how do you use it? How do you use it? And the other part of it too is I go down aliveness, agility. What is it that when I say aliveness, that um, makes you feel alive. I ride my bike. I'm a bike rider. And this weekend, I just rode this bike ride, and it was cold. It was raining. It was wet, and it was muddy, and the roads were rough because I was on trails and things like that. And the steeps and climbs were like just steep on, and it challenged me and it challenged my character. But I was alive. When I'm dancing, clink it dancing, or I'm singing, I know I'm alive. When I'm teaching people, or even when I'm just outside, I'll tell you what, just yesterday, my wife was sitting here and I just came and I just put the pillow up next to her and I just laid against her and I fell asleep laying against her and she just held me there. I was alive. And it keeps my mind agile, keeps my spirit agile. And as I go around the inquisitive focus, when I talk about that inquisitive focus, what is it that you want to learn that you'll go back to again and again and again that strikes your curiosity, that you know that if you're going to continue, you just want to grow, you just want to learn about it. So you're always questioning it and you're always focused on it, that inquisitive focus in your life. What is that for you? Part of that for me, that inquisitive focus, is learning about male engagement, to help men heal, to learn all I can about men, masculinity, and the healing of men, and to stop the domestic violence, sexual assault, and the hurt and harm, and that men can grow, and to be who the those healthy, well men in this world. I'm doing all I can to learn about that. And I go to care and intended, what am I doing to care for the land, tend the land and the people? What am I doing? What can I do? And how can I be of service? And the next one, service to the community. What is it that I can contribute? And how can I contribute as a person? And our contribution and caring to the land and our contribution to the community is learning about yourself, healing yourself so that you can be of service to the community. Healing yourself so that you can be of service to the community. So that you can care for the community, care for the land, and start tending to it in a good way, or your house, or even your home. And this our home, my uncle says, this our home. We got to do our homework. This our home right here. Caring and tending for your home. What are you doing? Are you eating right? Are you drinking plenty of water? And as we go up to this awe and reverence, what in the world do you hold in awe and reverence? Each morning when I see the sun comes up and I see that sunrise, those things that just make you go, oh man, check that out. Or the laughter of a child that just laughs. And you just go, oh. Do you hold your partner in awe and revere them in that good way, reverence? Your culture. Do you hold yourself in awe and reverence? Yourself, your teachings, your learnings, and your growth. And we come to this place where those things that you've already learned, that unconscious competence that you're really good at. We all have our skills, gifts, and talents. We all have our skills, gifts, and talents. And what is yours? What have you spent the time to learn and time to start to master? Because those skills, gifts, and talents that you have, teach them, use them, so that you can help others be that good human being as you continue to learn yourself on what it means to be a human being. Use our thoughts. I'm starting to explore this thing called positive art. Use our positive intelligence that the Creator has given us. Use our positive intelligence. What's your passion? What's your purpose? And how to use your positive intelligence, those things. Use your skills, gifts, and talents. And when I go to this place of quiet mind, take time just to sit. Stop being so busy. Sit. Learn what it means to have a relationship with yourself. What does it mean to be you? What does it mean to be a good human being? What does it mean, men, to be a healthy man? What is that? And then sleep, rest, quiet yourself, honor the integrity of who you are. I use this model called the indicators of awareness for myself. What do you use? How do you keep yourself grounded? What do you use to keep you on track? So, yeah, relative said the visual reminds me of the four directions. It does. I based it off of the four directions. I modeled this after the medicine wheel, the four directions. And so, yeah, it is. It is part of the four directions, and men need to be balanced just as women are, and uh, thank you all for your responses. Thank you for your chats in here. I wish I had more time. Time. My uncle used to tell me, time sometimes just goes by really fast. Sometimes it goes by really slow. Either way, make the best of your time. Now go get me a cup of coffee and a cookie. So yeah, so man, what can we do? How can we learn? My brothers and sisters, what can we do? How can we learn? Um, I just want to toss out, this to many of our relatives right now, and I too have an uncle who's making that transition from this world into the next. Many of us have those relatives who are making those transitions, and I know it's a hard time. It's a hard time, for family, for friends. My prayers are with you, and I know the ancestors are there waiting. My uncle's already talking about his ancestors are waiting for him, are waiting for him. He's already having communication with them. Yeah. But those are our beliefs of our people, eh? And what can we do to be better humans? But men, we need you to heal. I need you to be, those sensitive, caring men, thoughtful men, loving men for your children, for your wives, aunties, uncles, our relatives. So, anyways, for now, I just want to thank you all. Again, this is Native Wellness Institute Power Hour number 58, 320 something program. We're on with you daily, every day. Come and check us out. Check us out. I can't remember who's on for tomorrow. And then we do have some other workshops coming up. Check out the nativewellness.com website. Check out some of the workshops that are coming up. And let's all make this world a better place. Until next time, blessings, blessings, blessings. Hoi.